Hello and welcome to a new video for Path of Exile 3.22 Trial of the Ancestor. The build that I am currently playing is a Ascendant, level 89, Saboteur, and Raider Reave build. And there is a lot going on with the build currently, and there is a lot of potential direction for the build in the future. So big reason why I want to go Ascendant is because you do get some stats here. So, and then on top of that, you get additional passive points. So you can invest into clusters. You can then tattoo yourself all over, and no one just wants one tattoo. They want 50 tattoos all over their fucking passive tree. So this kind of idea was born from all of that. So the reason I'm going Raider right now is just the quality of life. Potentially may drop it entirely and go Inquisitor, Guardian, Berserker. There's actually quite a few different options I have, and this would either allow me to get some strength and int into the build, as well as just some flat strength. Berserker is probably the easiest and like most softcore friendly one, but I think Inquisitor and Guardian both have their merits. So there's some interesting options available, specifically with rage gloves and like stacking rage generation. However, I'm currently not doing that because I need the evasion mastery to help cap suppress. So this build, it's in its infantile state. It needs to go through several different improvements, and it is all born based off the idea of having a 700 LE DPS claw. It could be slightly better crafted, however, hey, when you slap an essence and everything wants to be T1, you take what you can get, alright? You just take what you can get. I will harvest quality craft this, I will get the quality up. A few other pieces of gear, just a random ring that I had, random fractured life gloves that I just recently got some mediocre available, whatchamacallit, Eater Exarch implicits, and a Stygian Vise, the Darkness Enthroned variant, with two well-crafted claw jewels, which makes up like a third almost of the DPS entirely. Just Dark Ray vectors. I was stacking Frenzy charges, but I recently like did a minor respec. So I'm no longer stacking frenzy charges. So this pair of boots is like, this has got to go. This ring is pretty much not going to be going anywhere. This ring is disgusting, and potentially suffixes cannot be changed. Aisling Slam, if it doesn't hit the life, and it unveils non-channeling skills have -7, then I can slap Wed on it, call it a day. And then this amulet, also not going to be changing. The anoint may change, but for right now, we're going to be scaling evasion, as well as a little bit of blind effect. And here we have the helmet. I'm currently not using determination. I am trying out anger instead of determination. Anger just gives more damage. May use determination later on in the build because it's pretty much just all armor and evasion gear, besides this pair of gloves. So I do get a decent chunk of armor in the build. And then we have Fizz taken as on the chest. But yeah, helmet, it's not anything special. It's just fractured essence crafted. Like, go to bog standard, to be expected in SSF. And the chest piece is insane. Sometimes your essences just hit. So things can happen. And then the shield, fractured, accuracy, T1, and then just essence slammed with the life to get some decent suffixes. So that is all of the gear. A lot of the jewels are just crafted with harvest and then corrupted, so a lot of them have implicits. And I think a few of them don't have implicits. Like, yeah, this one is just like something I'm using as a placeholder. It does give flat armor and evasion, and then blind enemies on hit. So 5% here, you get 25% here, and then the anoint, which is down here, gives you 20% chance. So it's really, really high chance to blind on hit. So while mapping, it's fairly comfortable. Even though you don't have an insane amount of evasion, At least for low tier maps, it's more than enough in combination with blind effect scaling. So this gives me 24% less accuracy and evasion against blinded, and then Mark of the Prey reduces their accuracy again by an additional 10%. So that's 34% reduced accuracy on the enemy. That just allows you to basically get away with a little bit less evasion and still feel fairly comfortable. And then some things about the build pathing currently is this is all on the option to be chopped entirely off. Once I get Fortify, whether it's through the implicit or through tattoos, this is definitely all going away. I may stay Raider and I may drop Saboteur and then pick up Inquisitor and then path through here and then get the Charisma for Aura Reservation through this way. I'm not entirely certain on how I'm going to play the build yet. However, I do know one thing. I need to level. Without levels, I'm not going anywhere. So we'll do a map, talk a little bit more about the build along the way. So I like Reave personally. So as you can tell, the clutter of screen is very minimal. I don't have any Herald effect going on right now. And the damage, as you can tell, is high enough for at least a T10 map. I'm not entirely certain how high I can get the precision without effing up my character here, but we'll see if I drop power charges or Assassin's Mark, then it's probably not a good idea to level it up, because then I don't have enough mana to trigger. So this is also with the Blood Sand stance, so this is 5% less area of effect. So the area effect can actually get better, but like in order to utilize Sand stance efficiently, you kind of want an Aura bot, because your damage does go down. So switch back to Blood Stance. And I should have probably used the totems there to boost the damage. I'm not in the habit of playing melee anymore, but I like melee, contrary to a lot of other people. And this is melee, quote-unquote melee. So another thing that's really, really cool about like melee is that you can do stuff like this. So I can use Reave and I can just like Frost Blink during it. So that's a cool piece of tech. So if you have like a strong box or something and like you're standing on like this side, but you see that there's like some mobs up here still left, and like you happen to be like in your middle of your Reave, you can just Frost Blink and go a little bit closer without actually stopping your Reave. Some other things about the build, like I said, the evasion scaling is pretty good. I will say that I have had a few deaths, but most of it is because like it's a low HP build. Holy crap, you can't script this shit enough. It is a fairly non-defensive oriented build. I ideally get like the cluster jewels going on in this build and then fix the ascendancies. Like currently I don't have anything other than LE Pen and inverted res for dealing with elemental resistances. I do have the whatchamacallit, the exposure on lightning res, but like that's so minuscule. I only did that to help balance Trinity a little bit. So as you can tell, Trinity sometimes gets a little scuffed. Ideally, I think I want to have Cold on there, just for general map. but I'm not entirely certain. The knockback is kind of nice because it pretty much just prevents them from closing the gap, and then they're also blind, so if they were to try to do any, like, projectile stuff, if it's an attack at least, they're blinded and they're marked. Sometimes they're marked. Some nasty mobs. Oh, it's a spire. Spire plus delirium. I am using like a really basic loot filter. I'm not on a super strict right now. Delirium's making everything a lot harder. So yeah, handles at least yellow maps right now really well. So we'll see where the build ends up. That's going to be it for this video. See you in the next one whenever I figure out how I'm actually going to build and play this build, because there's probably going to be at least like 50 regrets worth of respecking and cluster jewels and a ton of recrafted gear. So yeah, stay tuned. Either that or I'll magically drop a heat shiver and then turn this into a frenzy stacker and completely switch ascendancies on you. So who knows? Who knows what's gonna go on with this build in the future. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I'll keep you guys posted.